Hey y'all, it is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur Consultant Agency. And y'all know your girl on because I done been on this live 2 days in a row, and you already know how that go. But it's no way that I'm missing the opportunity to provide you guys with the information that I know you need as entrepreneurs to be able to effectively start, run, scale, and fund your business. As we know, business funding is a big thing right now. With the pandemic ending, all that good stuff, people are the government is looking for ways to re-stimulate the economy. And the best way, and this is historic since the beginning of time over here in America, it is the best way is to support the entrepreneurs. Because if you give them money, they're going to create a product that goes into the community. It's a recycling effect, which brings that back into the company, which brings it to taxes. So at the end of the day, everybody is able to get paid. So the first thing that the government likes to do is fund small businesses that can stimulate the economy and get us back at a strong place. So tonight, in preparation for the upcoming business funding, credit, and plans training that me and Audrey have on 228, we wanted to hop on live tonight just to drop you guys a few gems on what you can expect at our training. I know for me, business plans and business funding is a really, really big thing for me. I'm excited that I fell into it. It is something that I was able to do for myself. And then when I had the opportunity to share that with other people, especially aspiring business owners, it was a great experience for me. And then having an opportunity to connect with Audrey, I think we did our first event together last year.
Yeah.
And, from there, we just kind of been a big support system for each other and custom referrals, but also being able to combine our business models to be able to
Mhm.
provide an in-house solution for you guys to be able to be prepared for funding. You
Right.
got business plans and business funding over here, and then over there you got business credit. So
Yep.
with that being said, Audrey, I'm gonna let you tell a little bit more about yourself and your business, and how you out here to help the people.
Oh man, thank you, man. It's always a good time when we connect and do this, man, to kind of help move forward the funding of small businesses, man. That's a passion of mine, something that I'm very much so involved in. But just a little bit of backstory about me: Audrey Truesdale, business owner, entrepreneur, owner and founder of the CBCA network, and we basically help entrepreneurs and business owners get access to personal and business funding using our simple 5-step process. And so, a lot of what I've been doing over the past 2 years is just teaching people how to actually structure things, how to have the right things in place so that when the time comes when you are seeking funding or looking for capital, you're not scrambling or you're not in a rush situation, right? You're not up against the 8 ball, so to speak. So that's pretty much been my mantra, man. Like I said, we offer some different programs, training, one-on-one, done with you stuff. So, yeah, man, just happy to be in the building, fam.
Yes, yes, yes. So for you guys that are looking for business funding, some of the things that you can expect in our upcoming event. Number one is the steps to get ready for funding. People confuse a lot of times they can confuse the startup process with the business funding process, and those are two different processes. That business foundation process, that's all about the legitimacy of your business. How good is your business on paper? Are you organized? Do you have systems in place? If you take this money out, are you prepared to get this money back to your lenders? All that kind of stuff. It's really the health of your business at the beginning. Once you're able to establish that foundational health of your business, it gives you the opportunity to transition into funding your business and being able to focus on other things like credit and building up a portfolio to be prepared for it. Um, Audrey, I'm gonna start with you with kind of some key points on
Yeah.
that business credit portion. Let's
Yeah.
jump right into your top three myths that you want to debunk when it comes to business credit. What is something that you hear and you want to let the people know tonight that it is 100% incorrect?
Right. I would say number one, honestly, is the myth that you need perfect credit to get funding. That's one thing that I hear a lot of people Now let me back up and say that you do
Look,
want
you
to
gonna
have a good,
have
strong
them out here with a
profile.
450.
Right. Yeah, you definitely don't want to have a low credit score, but I think a lot of people think that if you've had let's say a car paid off, or maybe you got a high balance on one of your five credit cards or something like that, that disqualifies you for funding, when really, if you think about it, as a business owner, you're actually privy to more funding than someone who's not, because you have to think about personal funding and business funding. They kind of go hand in hand. Now there's some things and some ways that you want to go about utilizing both, but just knowing that you don't need a 800 credit score to get funded, right? I've actually had clients who had 800 credit scores and we still couldn't get them funded because they needed other things than just credit. So I think the biggest myth I'm seeing right now is that a lot of people believe that, hey, I need to fix my credit, right? Well, removing negative item doesn't mean that you've created a strong personal credit profile. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is that score determines whether or not you get funded. It's not true.
I agree. I agree. It goes actually in kind of one of the sessions you talked about. It talks about really the diversity, especially when you go for non-traditional options. Like, even to this day, even with so many funding options out there, I hear people talk about going to the bank. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going to a bank, especially if you have that rapport with your bank. But just know there are so many other lending resources out there outside of going to your bank. There are private equity companies, there are private loan companies, there are also, if you're an African American business, there are funders that specialize in African American owned businesses. But it is your responsibility as an entrepreneur to make sure that you do that adequate research. You can't just pop out here and be like, I want to get a grant, I want to get a loan, I want somebody to invest in me because you think you have a good idea. I write business plans every day, and it's a lot of amazing ideas that I read, write, all that good stuff. So, with that
Hmm.
being said, you have to understand that there are proper things that you have to put in place before you go for funding. And one of the biggest things I'm gonna say I'm going to debunk on the funding portion is, well, first, before I get into that, anybody that just joined us, please make sure you share,
Share it
tag
out.
us, share it out. We want to make sure we're giving people this information because it is money out there. I am securing the bag on a weekly basis right now. I'm so excited for my clients. So it's money out there, but it's all about the proper preparation and getting that money. So if you on here, make sure you share it. I'm about to drop our tags. Make sure you follow me, Carolina's own.
Yeah.
Stay in touch, man. Everything we talking about tonight, we dropping these tips on a daily on our social media.
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest myth that I would want to debunk in the business preparation process is the fact that you can get funding without any type of business history. So I will say that I will not say that it's not impossible. I'm not going to say that. But I can tell you that you significantly increase your chance of getting approved for business funding if you can show that you have been able to adequately, I would say the minimum is 6 months. At least if you can show 6 months of business revenue and even a small increase, even if you made 1,000 the first month, 2,000 the second month, it's really about that effort. And I think that's where a lot of people take them out, kind of what you said, Audrey, at the beginning. They
Yeah.
take themselves out because you think that you don't have what it takes to get funding when it's really not that simple. I mean not simple. It's really not that hard to a certain
Yeah.
extent as long as you do the best that you can to make sure your business is prepared. So Audrey, with that being said, what are some what was I going to ask you? How do you feel about the rumor when it comes to business credit? The
Hmm.
first thing you hear, of course, is trade lines. I hear trade.
Hmm.
If I see another trade line, I'm gonna pass out. So I see people talking about, I bought all these trade lines. I'm not seeing any numbers increasing. What? Why would that be? Why do people
Yeah.
say trade lines if that's not something that might not work?
I think early on, and just going back to, you have to understand that business credit is actually older than personal credit, right? So to give you an example, right, we all know Walmart, right? We all know Sam Walton. He started Walmart. But what we don't know about the story is that he actually, what he would do is he would go to different vendors, buy, items at discount and sell it at a cheaper price, right? That's how Walmart was built. But during that time, as he was buying from these vendors, he would report that information to Dun and Bradstreet, which is one of the three business credit bureaus. And so, just to kind of give you the difference, with personal credit, let's say you have a $10,000 business credit, personal credit card, and you carry a balance of $1,000. That's 10% quote unquote utilization, right? Whereas with business credit, you only get credit for what you use. So what a lot of people do and where they mess up, right, is that they'll go and open a bunch of net 30s. They never spend any money, right? Get a gas card, maybe use it once. And now they're like, well, hey, I don't have a business credit score. Well, that's because you only get credit for what you use. Meaning, let's say you get a $2,000 BP gas card and you only spend $80. Well, when that reports to the business bureaus, it reports as though you only have $80 in available credit. Whereas in the first example, you had 10,000, but you only use 1,000, right? So that's one of the things where you have to really, monitor. I'm a fan of a handful of vendor accounts, right? We've, one of my biggest platforms, YouTube. I put out a video that a lot of people gravitated to, where I just basically broke down, the steps to build your business credit profile, because you can do it in 45 days. That's one thing that a lot of people think that, hey, I got a bunch of vendor accounts. I've established business credit, but if you're not spending with the vendors, it's not going to impact your business credit scores.
Perfect. So,
Yeah.
also anybody that's watching live, if you got any questions, please drop them in the chat. We want to make sure this is engaging. So, if anything that we talk about, or if you heard any rumors or anything about business funding, lending, credit, all that good stuff that you want to ask, please use this opportunity to ask it. Any question that we can answer, we definitely gonna answer live tonight. So, do not hesitate to ask any questions that you may have.
Yes,
So I
indeed.
would say another question that I get, and then Audrey, I'll transition over to you to share kind
Okay.
of your top frequently asked questions. But I would say one of the top questions that I get when it comes to business plans is, do you really need a business plan? That's literally when I do a consultation, that's the first thing they say, like, do I really need it?
Right.
And I'm telling you, you do, especially nowadays. With the economy kind of being where it is, lenders, real commercial real estate agents, they are really, 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 really particular about who they let into their spot, because everything is financially unstable. So they don't want to take the chance of putting somebody in a location or giving money, and you might not be able to pay them back, or you might not be able to cover your lease.
Right.
So they're asking for a little bit more when it comes to leasing and funding to a certain extent. But when I say a little bit more, not on that credit aspect and not even on the cash part, because even on those things, down payment, it's a lot of flexibility in it. But really on the aspect of what's your plan? And I say that because it is so many people, entrepreneurs that I meet when I do my business plan consultation, and they literally cannot tell me. The first question I ask you when we get on a call, on a conference, is, tell me about you and your business. That's the first thing I ask you. And it
Mm.
amazes me consistently how many people cannot verbalize their business to me. They can't tell me like what they want to do, where they at, where they going. I literally ask that and they can't tell me. So for me, but then in the same sentence, they're like, I can't secure funding from nobody. And I'm like, if you cannot adequately tell what your business is, how do you expect somebody else to understand your business and want to fund it? So that's where the business plan comes in. The business plan is the face of your business. It is the organizational format of where you are, where you're trying to get to, and writing down exactly the steps that you're going to take to get there. That makes a lender feel a lot more comfortable. If they can look on paper and they can be like, okay, she want to open this massage business, because I know massage business. Okay, she already know where she gonna be at. She got a location in mind. She hasn't secured it, but she already done talked to the commercial real estate agent. It costs this much. It's this size. You have to do your due diligence on the front end. You
Yeah.
really do. And even on the credit part, like, people be coming out and not saying like the 45 to 60 days, but you got to understand, yeah, you could change it in 45 to 60 days, but it's going to take some work on your part. It's not going to be a simple process.
Yeah.
It can be 45 days or it can be 4 years, depending on how long you put in it. Because I know people that's been doing it inconsistently for 4+ years. So I would say that is a frequently asked question. And if you ask me, I'm going to tell you yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you need a business plan. They're asking for it when you sign that lease. Before you even sign the lease, they asking for a business plan. When you
Yeah.
go ask for funding, they're asking for a business plan. And the
Yeah.
good thing is, though, that I can say with a lot of these funding places is that they're allowing you, they're actually giving you everything you need to get it. So it's really coming to the point of you doing your responsibility and completing all the paperwork that they give you to be able to get the funding. They just want to know that you're willing to work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, the business plan, it helps if, let's say, you're a newer business, you don't have the experience level, but let's say you have a track record for being at a job and consistently filing taxes, right? Sometimes a business plan can replace tax returns. I've seen banks say, hey, we'll take that. Another thing that a business plan does that, a lot of our accelerator clients, they come to you for is to know exactly what your numbers are, because the thing about funding and just being an entrepreneur is you got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers, and if you don't, even if, let's say, you got 20, 30, 40, 50,000, if you don't know your numbers, that could easily turn into, let's say, you allocated 20,000 for marketing and a new lease, and now that, when you run your numbers, now you at like 40,000. So you kind of in a bind, so to speak. So always know your numbers. And that's where that business plan is key.
I agree. I agree. You got to know, number one, you got to know what you need. That startup budget, people try to skip over that. You got to know what you need. You got to be able to adequately, because they want to know where every dollar is going. It's no dollar that can go unaccounted for. So when you write out your startup budget and they ask you to itemize, which means break down everything you're going to buy, you got to be like, hey, I'm spending this on the sink. I'm spending this on the light. Like, you really have to
Yeah.
break it down like that. But like I said, it's all about credibility. To a certain extent, of course, they want to see it, but also it's to see, are you willing to put in that work? And
Right.
even when it comes to like down payments and things like that, you should have some type of savings in place. You should have some type of, even if you don't have to give that money as a down payment, you want to at least show the bank, hey, in this amount of time, I've been able to save this much, or I have this much that I'm willing to put in as well. And sometimes they'll allow you, to have options where you don't have to put the down payment down. But when
Mm.
you show them that you have it, it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. It's like, okay, they're willing to put a little skin in the game too. And those are things that increase your chances of getting funding. So we say all
Yeah.
that to say, for this portion on the base piece, that it's more than just your credit score. It's more than just your
Yeah.
credit report. It's a whole multitude of things that go into acquire funding. That's why it's so important across the board to make sure your business is seen as in the best light. That includes your branding. How is your business looking online? If somebody was to hop on your Instagram or business Facebook page right now, what are they going to see? Because I know for me, if anybody refers me to anybody online, the first thing I'm doing is going to your business page.
Yeah.
And if I sing outside of certain jobs, like, like mechanics, carpenters, hands-on stuff, all I need is word of mouth, because
Yeah.
they be with it.
Yeah.
But anything else, I'm looking at your page, and if I see you ain't posted anything on that page, I'm checking out your website. You don't have a website within the last 6 to 9 months, like even like last month. Like, I'm like, okay, so this person ain't tapped
Right.
in to a certain extent. So it's about making sure your business looks good across the board, which is why Be the Entrepreneur, outside of our business plan services, that's why we offer a suite of services.
Yeah.
We also offer logo design services. We offer landing page services. We offer social media setup. We literally provide the one-stop shop to make sure that not only is your business set up right, but that your business looks right and that you have the proper representation. So even outside of getting funding, when you're out here marketing to your clients, you're able to get them and maintain them as long as you offering the service correctly that you are marketing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Marketing. Yeah. The marketing, the business plan, knowing your numbers, knowing how to ask the right questions when you go into a bank. I think a lot of people, honestly, I've, been at this almost 2 years now, and I still run into people who, hey, I talked to the banker and they said XYZ and this da 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 da. And it's like, well, did you ask this question? No, I didn't ask that question. Well, if you'd have worded it a different way, you may have got a different answer. So yeah, it's a lot more than just what's on the surface, man. So for those of you watching, if you're on the fence, man, just get your tickets, man. We're gonna be in the building. We giving the game, we're giving out the plays, because I think a lot of people, what I'm seeing now is that a lot of people, information is cool. I love information. I do YouTube. That's my biggest platform. But we got to get to the execution. We got to get to the execution. So y'all got to come out February 25th. Please make sure you get your tickets, man. I want to meet everybody. I want Brandy to kind of, give y'all some game. I'm going to come with my sauce and, just come and be ready to learn, and also be just ready to execute. I'm big on execution. I don't like a lot of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Okay, when we get into it.
No, I agree. And I think that's one of the things that when we first kind of connected via social
Yeah.
media, I think that was one of the things that kind of got us, was like we was both people of action in our own
Yeah.
field. And it just
Yeah.
so coincidentally that we happen to work in fields that are collaborative in what we
Yeah.
want to offer. So
Yep.
with that being said, some of the things tonight was just a teaser. Some of the things, all those things we kind of talked about, that's literally just the tip of the iceberg of what we plan to do. I know for me on my end, I plan to go a little bit more in depth. What you can expect from the business plans and business funding portion from me is, number one, I'm going to tell you step by step what you need to have in place before you even go to the bank. Right now, I have had the opportunity to partner with different companies and people to be able to focus solely on preparing people to get funded. So that is what I'm going to show you step by step. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. If you want to create your own business plan, I'm going to give you the resources to do it, because I want you to feel comfortable in however you need to get that done. But if it's a service that you want us to do it, be the entrepreneur, we can do that as well. And then Audrey's going to come in on that business credit just to put the icing on the cake. And I'm going to
Yeah.
let him talk a little bit more about what those tips and kind of what that'll look like.
Yeah, so definitely, man, when you come to the event, man, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how your business profile needs to be structured, right? Because a lot of people think that, oh, I open up a net 30 here or there, but there's some other data points that you need on your business profile in addition to just having vendor trade accounts, right? That's one step, but you got to have some other things, right? So when you come to the workshop, I'm gonna lay out exactly how that business profile needs to look. Also, things that you need to be aware of on your personal credit reports, right? Your personal credit needs to be structured a certain way so that you can maximize your opportunities to get funding, right? So when you come to the workshop, you're going to know exactly how your personal credit profile needs to look in order for you to secure funding when it comes time to go in the bank with your business plan and with your landing pages and everything that you get from Be the Entrepreneur, and walk out with funding, right? That's the goal, right? To walk in with a business plan, walk in with a plan, and walk out with the funding. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't wait, man. I'm ready. I mean, can we do it tomorrow? I mean,
Look,
I'm like,
right,
come
right.
on,
Look,
man.
I was like, look, when I was
Let's make
talking,
it
I was like,
happen.
all
You
right,
know what I'm
Brandy,
saying?
remember this a teaser. Because like, once you in it,
Right.
it's like, I'm about to
Yeah.
tell y'all everything. But I'm like,
Right.
Brandy, bring it in, bring it in. And just to close out, I just want to share that I know that there are a lot of people out here that are claiming to do some of the things that we're discussing, that business plans, that funding, that credit.
Yeah.
But just know that when you're scouting a company, a business, do your own research. I know for Be the Entrepreneur, we are 5-star rated across all platforms. If you look at us, anybody that we've dealt with, it's always great things about the quality of work that we provide. In addition, thus far this year, I have secured my clients $126,000
Let's
in
go.
funding. So I'm super excited about it, man. This is my first real year being able to see, really my business plans and the things that I'm creating for people who otherwise wouldn't have access to these funds, to see that going into effect. So I'm super excited to increase that number. My goal this year is really to hit a milli and getting people
Really
funded. But I feel like I'm gonna give 110% effort to it. But
dope.
right now we at 125, so
There you go.
126. So I'm super excited. And the information I'm giving my clients, that's what y'all about to catch for a quick
Yeah.
40 light refreshments. We're gonna make sure y'all ain't hungry either.
Right,
So we
right,
got
right.
you.
We're gonna feed you and we're gonna give you this knowledge because it's important, man. At the times that we are now, that you get guidance from people who've been doing this, right? I've been able to, help people, students, clients, subscribers, followers, whoever who's been in the earshot of me secure some type of funding. And I think right now, this workshop is vital because of the economic times, right? Everything has kind of been smooth sailing since COVID, right? But now we're hitting the rocky waters, and you don't want to be in that boat without, somebody who know how to steer it, because if you get out on the waters and you ain't got no captain or nobody who really been out there in the waters, it's gonna get ugly.
It's definitely going. I was literally just sharing with my clients, in closing that the recession is real, y'all, and it's coming. If you have not been watching and paying attention to the effects of what's going on, you need to. Layoffs are secretly happening at this moment across the
Right.
board, and they are really estimating a full recession quarter 4 2023, quarter 1 2024. So, you got to outside of your regular job, which is cool and good, whatever you trying to secure business wise money before they tighten it up and shut it down,
Yeah.
go. This next 6 to 8 months is your time to secure
Yeah.
the funding before it get tight out here. And when you come out on February 25th, me and Audrey gonna drop you the tips on how to do it, because our goal for 2023 is really to get to the money. Oh, that wrong, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a
Get
rap
to the
on the low.
money.
I'm
Gotta
a
get
rap
to the
on the
money.
low. I'm a rap on the low. But with all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
being
yeah.
said, Audrey, as always, I appreciate you
Nah,
for
I
sure.
appreciate you, man. We're gonna get the people what they want, man. February 25th. Y'all make sure y'all show up, man, because like I say, man, it's coming. You heard the stats. You can't it's February 2023. If when February 24 comes, you can't say you didn't have your opportunity, man. We here. February 25th.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you still on, please do not forget to share. It's not too late. This is a live feed that we are looking to roll out. So we'll see y'all on the 25th. Outside of that, y'all have a great night.
All right, family.